myself, Dr. Yusufi Mujahid, extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this online training program on flash column chromatography. You are welcome to Advanced Research Lab of Abda Inamdar Senior College, which has been established with the help of Department of Science and Technology grant. The college received rupees 95 lakhs under FIST zero level scheme. I take this opportunity to thank our President Dr. P.A. Inamdar, who extended complete support and provided all the infrastructure facilities which were needed for the establishment of Advanced Research Lab. This lab will be ready in the coming days with lots of instrumental facilities in addition to animal tissue culture lab. So in future, we will be able to conduct studies on anti-proliferative properties of natural products and synthetic compounds prepared in the lab. So today we are going to discuss the operation of fully automatic flash column chromatography. This model is a Yamazen model AI580S, and it comes in combination with automatic TLC reader of Acros. Flash column chromatography as such is very important requirement in any organic synthesis laboratory. Pure compound is very important for determination of structural characters and biological activities. So when we carry out an organic reaction, usually the reaction is never 100% complete, and because of that, we need to purify our compound. The classical approach of using large columns takes lots of efforts, time, and it also results in wastage of solvent, which is basically not a recommended strategy in today's world as we are moving towards green synthetic approaches. Flash column chromatography can play a very important role in purification of not only organic synthetic compounds, but it will also help us to isolate natural products from various plants of medicinal values. This part is called as the column stand, in which we are putting our columns for the purification of compounds. There are two columns which are needed. The first upper one column is called as injection column, and the lower column is called as separation column. Right now you don't see the columns. These are the two dummy columns which have been inserted in this column stand. We are going to use these dummy columns for priming of the instrument. Apart from the column stand, we have solvent reservoirs in which the solvents are stored, and you can see that there are tubings inserted in these solvent reservoirs. The solvents will be pumped from the reservoirs by the instrument, and then that solvent will pass through the columns. Then the outcoming solvent will go into the detector. This detector is a UV detector. It will be able to detect any organic compound which is absorbing in the UV range. The software will decide to collect the sample with the help of a mechanical automatic arm. So this is the tray rack. This is the rack which has got an array of test tubes. A mechanical arm will automatically move and collect the fractions, and when the absorption decreases or that fraction is completely out of the system, then the mechanical arm will change to the next tube. So when we start our software, the system ready message is flashed on our screen. Usually, we carry out priming of the column. Priming is a process of removal of air bubbles. The evaporated solvent leave air gaps in the tubings. This process is automated
So we are supposed to press auto prime and we can adjust the rate of flow of the solvent through the tubing. For example, 30 ml per minute. The software shows the progress and then the completion of priming. So this is an arrangement where you see that these dummy columns have been introduced into the column stand and we would be running solvent through this system. After the completion, these dummy columns will be removed, and when we will run our actual chromatographic experiment, then we will have these two columns in the place of dummy columns, where one would be an injection column and the other would be separate.
Now, as explained earlier, we'll go for priming. Auto prime, when we start, the instrument will start priming to remove all the air bubbles as we have explained earlier. The progress of priming is displayed on the panel. Here we can read prime in progress. The graph shows the progress. The priming will be running for the assigned period of time. The solvent which is running through the tubings will take away all the air gaps, and that solvent is given out into a waste disposal can. This vibration in the tube is because of the solvent which is flowing through. Once the priming is finished, we get a message of completion of priming. So now all the air bubbles have been removed from the system. Once the priming is finished, we do not need all the dummy columns. So basically, now I will remove the lower dummy column and I will replace this lower dummy column by actual separation column. This is the actual separation column which is already pre-packed. It is filled with silica gel. Particle size is 40 micrometer. The size of this column is large column. The dimensions are 26 into 100 millimeters. So we can move this stand arrangement. The column can be fixed by simply rotating onto the nozzle. As we can see that the lower dummy column has been replaced by actual separation column. We still have this dummy column. In the later part we will replace this by injection column. We will see how the software calculates the RF value and develops the system as per the TLC data which we are providing to the software. So on the main, after completing the priming, I am going for the mode selection. So I am choosing acros mode. We will give, you can see that there are certain parameters which are related to the TLC plates. We have already run a TLC plate, so we are going to put this TLC into the system and we we will capture the TLC data. You can see that now the spots are visible because of the UV radiation. We will capture it and data is shifted to the software. Now we will calculate the RF value. The software is asking us to click the start point on the TLC. So this is our starting point. We enter this for saving the starting point. Then the software asks us to click the solvent front on the TLC. So here It might not be visible to you from the camera, but here is the solvent front, and we choose that solvent front. Then we are asked to choose the target, the compound in which we are interested in. So this is my major product, and the RF value is now automatically calculated as 0.23. As a reference point, the software asks us to choose impurity to be separated. As you can see, there is a very small spot above this particular spot. Software also asks us to remove the nearest impurity. We can possibly make our compound impure. We choose the nearest impurity. Once we complete this procedure, the software asks us to decide the elution mode. So I am choosing standard separation mode. The column size I am going to use is the large one, so I choose large column. What is the maximum amount of sample which can be loaded on the column for successful separation? The software is suggesting that for this particular size of separation column, that is large column, I can load 528 milligrams of my sample. Here is my sample. So minimum amount of methanol was used for making a clear solution of the sample. Then column grade silica was taken and it was put into this clear solution. Then continuous mixing and stirring with a glass rod evaporated the solvent, and all our sample gets loaded on this silica. So let us come back to our system. So we chose large size column, and then now the software is giving us two options, that you run equilibration or you start the chromatographic.
We remove the lower dummy column and we place our separation column. This column is basically dry. We have to run another program which is called as column equilibration. Many of us might have already used our classical columns. So what we do is we make a slurry of silica gel, then we pour the slurry into this column, and then we get a packed column here. In our flash system, we already have a packed column. We have to just make it ready with the solvent system. So when we run our solvent system through this dry column, this process is called as column equilibration. When we run this column equilibration, a window appears which shows the progress of equilibration. The message of completion of the process appears on the window.
Experiment. As we have just seen that equilibration is an important step, so we will start equilibration. Before equilibration, our separation column should be there in the system. So we will start equilibration. Equilibration is in process. During equilibration, a baseline correction is also carried out by the software. This additional spike is because of some residual impurity which was present in our separation column. So the window displays the progress of equilibration. We should make ready our injection column, because after the equilibration is complete, we will go for actual chromatographic separation. So this is our injection column in which we will load our sample. The preloaded compound on silica is added into the injection column. We also add a small amount of regular silica gel without any compound on it, and we close the column. Our equilibration is complete now. So we will replace our dummy column by injection column.
After deciding the polarity and the gradient, we can start the chromatographic experiment. Once we press chromato start, we get another window which shows the progress of our chromatographic separation. When the system is running, it will follow the gradient pattern which we have decided. One window will show the progress of change in gradient. The other window will show the peak positions which are appearing into the system. So as per the baseline, if the solvents are running, the UV detector is not able to detect any absorbance. And let us say if our one component is reaching up to the detector, then the absorbance will increase as the concentration of our compound will increase in the outcoming solvent. Then the compound is now coming out of the system, so its concentration is decreasing, and again absorbance will decrease. And for other components, if they are present, so this kind of development is visible on the screen. The threshold in this system is 0.16. So anything showing absorbance more than 0.16, it will be collected into the test tube.
We will start our chromatographic separation. And now you can see that the mechanical arm started moving for the collection of eluent. There are slight disturbances in the baseline. However, the compounds which are being detected are not being sent to the collecting tray. They are going to the waste can. The lowering of absorption is again visible, probably to you on your screen. So the impurities are now decreasing in amount. If another component reaches the detector and if it is absorbing in the UV range, then again the second screen will show the change in absorption. At the moment we are running with 30% methyl acetate and 70% hexane, which is maintained by the equipment. This will run up to the 11th minute of this chromatographic experiment. After 11th minute, we are changing the gradient sharply and we are taking the percentage of ethyl acetate up to 60%. We don't always have to rely upon the predictions and calculations of software for the method development. We can use our own experience and wisdom by looking at the TLC plate and the polarity of the solvent system used for running TLC, and we can adjust the polarity of the solvent in column chromatography experiment. The sample is being collected because the absorption crossed 0.16 threshold value. This is an impurity which is in higher concentration in our mixture. Probably this is the unreacted, one of the unreacted reactants which is now coming out of the column. Here is the absorption of the impurity. The absorption is again further increasing. the software is suggesting the color codes that the blue color is a different fraction and the red color is a different fraction. In the last row, you can see the diagrammatic representation of the test tubes. So these three test tubes may have a similar component which we can mix together after checking the TLC of individual test tubes, so that we can be sure that we are mixing the similar components. We will change the scale to accommodate the peak. We can also choose to discard the first 4 red coded test tubes and choose the 5th one, which will be probably having more pure product. Please note that the number of these red coded blocks are increasing. It means that the outcoming diluent is getting collected into next test tubes. Test tube number 10, 11 and 12 appear to be containing only one component of the mixture, and the absorption peak shows that that component is in very high concentration. Now the concentration is decreasing sharply, so most likely we will be able to collect test tube number 10, 11, 12 together, and on evaporation that will give us single spot pure compound. Since the elution is complete, in order to save the solvent, we can stop our experiment at this stage and go for line flushing. So now I will choose to pause the run and then I will end the run. Now the system is in paused position. We can choose to end run. We get this message of end now. So our chromatographic separation is complete. As per the peak position, the most likely mixture will be the mixture of test tube number 10, 11, 12 and 13, which can be mixed together to get the pure compound. Now the last part remaining is the line flushing. We will pass methanol in the first stage, then we will pass chloroform and ethyl acetate and finally hexane to clear up our adsorption column. For that, we will remove the injection column. We will put a dummy column there and we will complete the process of line flushing.
The last and the final step of this experiment is the cleaning of the column so that the next time it can be used for a new experiment. So this is the last part of our experiment where we do line flushing. Okay. When we do line flushing, when our experiment gets completed, we do line flushing. Why do we do it? We do it to clean our separation column. For line flushing, we remove the injection column and we replace that injection column by a dummy column. So upper column is removed and we put a dummy column there, and the lower column is our separation column, and that we want to clean. There is a default setting in this software, so we can just use that auto flushing. A progress message will be flashed on our screen which shows that line flushing is continuing, and once it is completed, the completion message is also shown by the software. At this stage, we can close the program and we can switch off our